Hi everyone, welcome to Lori Krine's Art Studio. Today,
Trina Merry,
who does body painting here in San Jose, and she's doing a whole bunch of models tonight for the event tonight at the Sub-Zero Festival that's going on in downtown San Jose. And it's in conjunction with the First Friday event that happens the first Friday of every month throughout the year, correct?
Yep.
So I'm really glad you were able to take a break from your busy schedule inside their body painting like crazy in there.
Yeah, it's a party.
It's totally a party. So I wanted to ask you first, I know we only have a few minutes to talk, so we won't be able to go into elaborate detail, but tell me how you got started doing body painting.
I got started doing body painting in about 2006. There was a band named the Red Paintings, and they're from Australia, and I actually was a human canvas. Somebody had painted me, and it was like the single most exhilarating experience of my life up to that point. Wow. So I just started body painting that way.
So you were a model first?
Yeah.
And then you started doing it. So do you have any background in art or any art training or anything?
I was a filmmaker.
A filmmaker.
Who started doing art department like out of college.
So
yeah.
You don't have any background in painting?
I don't have any classical. I don't have any classical training, and I don't have any classical training in body painting. And I actually just got back from a huge convention in Florida, and my work looks a lot different than most people's work because I don't have that training.
So what's your motivation for doing this besides being a model and loving being on that end of it? Do you have other motivation for doing this body painting work?
Oh, definitely. I think it's cutting edge because it breaks all these different walls, and in that way it's a lot like film. You often work with teams in order to create the art. It breaks the fourth wall and interacts with people in a way that just looking at the screen doesn't. It's limited. Also, when I was painting a lot. I was doing like 9 gallery shows a month, something crazy like that when I was painting on canvas. And I was just hitting this wall creatively because I was pumping out things so fast. And I found out that the wall was that I needed to get into something that was in process rather than that was product oriented. So for me, that keeps me going, and also the relationships that I build with those models over the 2 to 8 hours that I'm there painting with them. Like all these body image issues come out, as you know, and you really get to know people and you get kind of close. And then after you're done with the painting, if you're ever really done with the painting, you get to see that painting continue because it's in process always, and it moves and it takes shape, and the people who are in it perform, and it doesn't end, but it also disintegrates. It's constantly changing, and for me that represents that I need to relax and let the change come and adapt to that change in my own life. Kind of like we're like the Tibetan sand painting.
Yes.
So they go to all this effort for days and days to make this one little painting, and then you just destroy it. It's kind of a lot like body painting.
Wow, right, because it just washes off, obviously, when you're done.
Yeah.
Now I know that you paint the bodies and then you photograph the work, and I've seen some of your photographs, and we'll be showing them on the show in a little bit. But I wanted to ask, so what's the reaction been from the outside world, if you want to call it that, the rest of the world after you've done your work and in process, and so what's the reaction been?
Oh man, I've gotten every kind of reaction. It's like some people are so like, whoa, this is so beautiful, it's so amazing. I've never even seen anything like this. Like I get a lot of shock. I get a lot of people who really think it's beautiful and want to get painted, and who really, even though they don't understand it, something clicks with them about it. But then there's also a lot of people who think it's controversial because they're uncomfortable with nudity, and I think because they're used to people being nude and it equaling porn, because I think I think a lot of it is because art is getting taken out of schools and people aren't being trained. That I mean, the nude form has been in art for quite a while, and I actually rarely paint fully nude people anyways, so they're usually in, you know, at least underwear and pasties, at least. So, but still people are very reactive to that, and I think it's their own personal struggles with visual images and their response to nudity. I think people really are narrow on their thoughts of what nudity equals, and that's a lot of conversations that I have to deal with when I'm with models, is those scars that happen from those relationships, that they have been ruined by being so objectified and by only understanding themselves in within a sexualized context as being nude. And I'm not necessarily a naturalist or nudist per se. I mean, I don't run around nude myself everywhere. I'm actually quite modest. But I feel like it's beautiful. I mean, every single person's body is different. Their skeletal structure, their muscular structure, the way that their fat deposits on their body, the experiences of their lives have shaped the way that their skin is on their body. The dryness of their skin, the moisture on their skin, the color of it, you know, the undertones of yellow and blues and pinks and very pale whites. I mean, it's so different, and so for people to think that they need to be a certain way in order to feel beautiful, I mean, that takes a lot of conversation. And I think what people will find by being body painted is that they're transported outside of this view of themselves that has been given to them through an understanding of conversations with others, and instead they become something else, and they find self-acceptance. They become either a character, they become a moving piece of art, in my opinion, a living, breathing piece of art, a human canvas.
So it kind of takes the, I wouldn't say pressure, but it takes them out of themselves almost, so that, because I know when I was a model, that same thing happened to me. I was like, as I got painted, I became a piece of art, and I was no longer myself. So it's almost like at Halloween, you dress up as somebody else.
Right, exactly. Only this can be very abstract, and it, you know, it's not necessarily a specific character, but people somehow find emotions or something that they've been holding inside that they feel like they finally can express. And what's interesting is, what is reality? I think I always struggle with this concept of hyper-reality. What is real? Is it this simulated reality that we live in our daily lives, that we call ourselves by our name, by our own perceived selves, or is it these internal emotions, these internal things that these desires, that we've been wanting to express, but we couldn't until there was color on our bodies. You know, it makes me feel like people should be, you know, body painted more, liberated more almost.
Yeah, it's kind of like a form of therapy.
It can be.
It sounds like some of the people that you worked with have had some little breakthroughs through the experience. So it's kind of like art therapy in a strange way.
It is. Yeah, it really is. Which is, you know, beautiful.
Yeah.
Holy crap. You don't get that from a canvas.
Right.
They're not ticklish, you know. You don't have to. I've also never had to be so alert and sensitive and aware in my art before, you know, or aware of myself, or it's almost made me a better person because I have to be constantly attentive to what are the needs of this person, what are my needs, how are we interacting. It's constant attention. Even though it's nonverbal, it's constantly attentive. And you know, it's so easy when you're product oriented in your art to just be like,
what's the end result?
And what's the end result? What is the product? And that's like graphic design, things like that, where it's just product oriented. You miss the attentiveness.
So it's kind of like for you, the end product is not. It's part of the deal, but the process of getting there is much more part of the actual art than the end result is.
For sure. And that's why I'm playing with like a lot of action in my shots right now, like with dancers and stuff. That's why I'm doing this thing tonight with Sub-Zero with Tahira, because I feel like I want the process to be represented. You know, it is about, sure, there'll be photographs, there'll be videos, and that's great, you know, but the to be able to show process, you know, that
Right.
it's alive.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
alive, like that's what, you know, and I'm alive while I'm making it.
Yeah.
They're alive while they're being painted and transformed. Like it's beautiful.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knew, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
I was stumbled upon it, you know?
yeah, it's incredible. How long have you been doing this?
Well, so since 2006, I was doing it maybe once, maybe 3 times a month at most. And then last year, Sub-Zero, I was hitting that wall. So I made a totem pole out of televisions, and I made video installations
Ah.
with body paintings. And I was like, you know what? Everybody's going to think I'm crazy. A lot of people are going to get their feelings hurt, but I think I need to hibernate and really explore what this art form is,
Ah.
why I am reacting to it in a way that I can't describe yet, but I feel like I need, and I think it's the best decision ever. I do it every day. Paint every day.
Every day.
Almost,
Yeah,
you know,
almost every day.
at least one body a day.
Really?
Or I'm working on designs every day.
Wow.
But some days I'm painting, you know, up to 8 bodies a day. Today we're doing 15.
15.
You know?
Yeah, it's kind of
insane.
it's crazy in there. Well, I know you have a lot to get back to, so I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I just wanted to kind of, if people wanted to find out more about your work, or do you have a website, or, you know.
Sure.
Can you share that with us?
Yes, it is it is www.zhibit, like exhibit but with a Z, .org, and then / Trina Merry, and that's TRINAMERRY, and yeah.
Spell this, so it's XHIBIT?
ZHIB.
ZHIBIT. Okay.
.org.
.org/Trina Merry. Okay, cool. So check it out, you guys. It sounds good. And I'll put a link on my website, which is LoriCrimeStudios.com. I'll put a link on my website to her website, so that if you need to find her, you can. And do you have a Facebook page or anything?
I do, and it's just I think Facebook / Trina Merry.
Trina Merry. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's a great way, especially if you are a little bit on the, because Facebook obviously doesn't allow outright, overt nudity. So if you're like, what is this body paint thing? Like, Facebook is a good entry point, and so is my website. My website is my portfolio.
Yeah, okay.
I have a Flickr, but I don't know what that number is.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm sure they can find it if they want to.
Yeah. And if you're interested in being a model or getting body painted or having body paint at your event, you know, hit me up as well on my website.
All right, excellent, cool. Well, that's great. I mean, I'm sure we could probably talk for hours, and if there's more that you want to share, then we can touch base a little bit later on, you know, maybe tomorrow or next week or whenever.
Yes.
But thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me, and for letting us come and visit we're going to have a lot of video shots and photographs of what's been going on inside. So get back to it, and thank you, and we'll see you at Sub-Zero tonight.
Awesome.